everyone, and welcome to the BMW M2 CUP. We are in Franchorchamps in Belgium. We're thrilled to be here. And obviously, Spa always has a little surprise in store for us. In regards to the weather, looking up into the skies, it's definitely cloudy. Who knows if it's going to stay dry? We will find out in just a bit. But before we focus on today and get some interviews, let's have a look at yesterday's race, because it was crazy indeed with a lot of action. Check it out.
So this is it then, for the first time of asking ever, the BMW M2 CUP at Franchorchamps. And after a really wet qualifying, the drivers are going to the track on slick tyres. It is a drying track. So the red lights go out, let's go racing. Osten then heads towards the checkered flag. This will be his fourth win in a row. And this then, the rookie championship podium with Lawrence Stegman on the top step.
And now with me is Hans-Peter Kamps, the founder of the BMW M2 CUP. And you had smiles for the drivers just a second ago. All the drivers are there now. But before we get interviews with the drivers, let's speak about the weather. Spa always has a little surprise for us in store. But in regards to the weather, I guess it always depends on who you ask, right?
Yeah, and the best weather app is the farmer out of the region. Yeah, if he has pain in his legs or whatever. So everything you see is quite different. You are right, and this is because it is Spa. I love this track because it's so wonderful, made in the nature, and for this reason, the nature is doing what the nature wants to do, and not what we want to have.
Absolutely. So we will see what nature wants today, because the drivers obviously were cautious yesterday because we didn't know about the weather. But speaking about the drivers, the BMW M2 CUP is so ideal for new talents, because I guess also part of it is they all have the same opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. So we change the cars every race. We have the same setup. We have a central technical overview. So nobody has an advantage about the cars, about the tires, about the pressures, about the data from the others. Everything is open for everybody. So it depends on the driver, absolutely.
And also it's absolutely ideal because you train the new talents, and also you give them the chance. Like, for example, the winner last year is now driving the DTM trophy. So it's really a kick into the career, right? Like a kickoff start, as if you wish.
Yeah, the program, what we made very close together with BMW is something what you have to do in the motorsport. You haven't to talk about, then you come to the next, you have to open the door. And opening the door is something what the M2 CUP is doing.
And also we've got men, but we also got young women. And that's one thing I really love. We've got 2 women in the BMW M2 CUP this year.
Yeah, so you want to make a guest start?
Well, I don't know about that.
So do it. Matthias did it as well. So you are invited.
It would only be fair, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we are in front of Jackie Kreuzpoint now. She's a very talented woman, and she's working on everything very, very hard, and she's pushing every time. So she's a talent, yes.
Absolutely, and we will speak to her in just a second. But also in regards to the new talents, I mean, how proud are you about this group of new and young talents?
Very proud, because it is something what you have to build up. You need time, and we had the time. BMW made another contract for the future, so we have the time to go on with this. That's very important.
All right, thank you so much. Let me just quickly see if I can get just a quick one, because obviously Jackie, Jackie, optimistic?
Yeah, of course. I'm fast. I know that. I showed that a lot of times, so.
All right, and she's starting from P7, so best of luck there for the race. And sorry, that was an attempt. Just quickly before we get kicked out. So now let's get racing. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Verena, as always. Sterling work down there on the grid. Really nice to hear from Hans-Peter Kamps, one of the principals of the BMW M2 CUP, along with Jörg Michaelis. And also really good to hear from Jacqueline Kreuzpointner. I had a very long chat with both Jacqueline and Alessia this morning. They are very, very driven and very, very motivated and very talented. And yes, be very interesting to watch their careers develop. Indeed, all of these drivers. Now, Maxime Osten, he was brilliant during qualifying, has put the car P1 for race 1. Of course, the qualifying for the second race involves the second best lap from qualifying, which Maxime Osten also delivered, so therefore he's pole position again. Can he make it 5 wins in a row? Let's see. He made it 4 yesterday. Alongside him is Robert Heffler. Now, Bart Horston is going from P3 on the grid. He's going to be one to watch. Mikael Brattegum, one of our new guest drivers, if you will. He's going from P4, the journalist. Fabian Crime, who lost the lead of the Drivers' Championship yesterday to Maxime Oosten. He goes from P5, so once again, he's got some overtaking to do during the course of the race. And we'll bring you the grid in full in just a few moments. But the weather conditions are dry-ish. If you go offline once again, there's still plenty of dampness around. But to all intents and purposes, the drivers have a dry track in front of them and 2 formation laps. And the time of the race duration has been shortened by 3 minutes to make account of the 2 formation laps. That's to allow the drivers to really get to grips, if you will, with the track conditions as they are at the moment. Big back-end slide there, which was enjoyable to watch from Mark-David Muller, who was certainly in the mix yesterday. So the car's heading to Rouge for the first time of asking then. And in the championship standings, as I predicted, Maxime Oosten now leading on 118 points from Fabian Crime on 115. And Bart Horston is P3 on 73. And it's P3 that Bart starts from today. So, once again, Fabian Crime, what he needs to do is mitigate insofar as he can the points deficit to Maxime Oosten. Fabian has led the Drivers' Championship and led it with aplomb, but he has just really not got his qualifying together, and he makes a relatively lowly start from P5, whereas his enemy in the points, if you will, Maxime Oosten, is, of course, going from pole position once again. So Maxime obviously has that huge advantage. So the cars winding their way through the Ardennes region here in Spa-Francorchamps then. And here is the grid in full, as promised. Maxime Oosten from P1 alongside his Robert Heffler. Bart Horston goes from P3. Then it's Mikael Brattegum, the guest starter, going from P4. Fabian Crime, P5. Mikael Makesh, who was full of the action yesterday, P6. Then Jacqueline Kreutzpointner going from P7. Lawrence Stegman, P8. Then it's Mark-David Muller and Tom Nittel. They are the drivers that occupy the first 5 rows of our grid, ahead of Diego Stifter, P11. Milan Takens, then, another guest driver. He goes from P12. Jarno Dow, P13. Alessia Kreutzpointner going from P14. Then it's Sean Fuster and Aaron Venish. On the 8th row of the grid, they're going from P15 and P16. That is the way the grid looks in full for you. The drivers weaving from side to side to try and generate some temperature into the tyres. Of course, they use the brakes additionally. And the local authorities, as you can see here, to perhaps enjoy a little bit of BMW M2 Cup race action as well. And we hope that you will enjoy this race as much as the race yesterday. There was lots of battles going on. It has to be said, Maxime Oosten was not able to break away right at the start of the race, and he was under pressure all the way, really, for the first 2/3 of the race before he was then able to eke out something of a gap. But Maxime Oosten has got Robert Heffler and Bart Horston in terms of company today. They are the top 3 drivers. Second best lap, as I said, from the qualifying session that sets the grid for race 2. 2 formation laps with the race duration time shortened by 3 minutes as a consequence. And that is purely to allow the drivers to really understand the track conditions, because of the way this Spa-Francorchamps and the 7.004 kilometers winds its way through the topography of the region. It's not unusual for the track and weather conditions to be completely different, say, from La Source to maybe Rivage in turn 8 and 9, perhaps. You know, the track conditions can be completely different. So drivers then getting used to the conditions by dint of them having been allowed, if you will, 2 formation laps. So they start the second of the formation laps now, having made their way through the bus stop chicane, and now through turn number 2, which is turn number 1 rather, La Source, which I have to say, I was talking to the race director early this morning, and I was really impressed with all the young talents in the BMW M2 Cup with regards to their conduct at the start yesterday. It was absolutely awesome. I don't think there was even a touch between any of the drivers as they made their way through the funnel, which is La Source for the first time of asking. Not a bit of paint was traded, which was really, really nice to see. So these are all names that we expect to see in even higher and greater echelons of motorsport in years to come, and they're here as young talents making their name and making their way, and the BMW M2 Cup affords a fantastic opportunity on a big, big stage, the DTM stage, of course, and of course we have the likes of Colin Carasani and Lewis Henkerfend, who are racing in the DTM Trophy as a consequence of their performance in previous BMW M2 Cup seasons. So Oosten, Heffler, Horsten, Brottigam, Crime, Makesh, Kreutzbeutner, Stegman, Muller and Nittel are the top 10 drivers on the grid, as we are on now our second of the 2 formation laps. Additional formation lap, and the race duration shortened by 3 minutes to make allowance for the additional formation lap. So our race duration now becomes 27 minutes plus 1 lap, always plus 1 lap. And you can, as much as we are champing at the bit to get going, so too will all the drivers. So you can see they're perhaps not being quite as aggressive in terms of weaving from side to side on this second of the formation laps. They will come back through the bus stop chicane and onto the start-finish grid, and line up in their grid boxes ready to go racing. 27 minutes of hot rod race action to come from the BMW M2 Cup, live from Spa-Francorchamps. 7 kilometers, 19 turns, 10 of them are left-handers, 9 of them are right-handers. And it's a track, as Hans-Bernd Camps was saying, it's a track that's really relished by everyone that comes here, because it is one of those iconic circuits, and absolutely delighted that the BMW M2 Cup here for the very first time this weekend. So Maxime Oosten and Robert Heffler, then it'll be a drag race into La Source, turn number 1, when we do eventually get the lights going from red to green, and the race will be on. Number 99 car of Lawrence Stegman, you could see there, and Lawrence Stegman having a very good race yesterday, taking P2, and Lawrence really did keep the pressure on Maxime Oosten all the way through to perhaps the final third of the race. Lawrence Stegman starting further down the order than he would like today. He is going from P8, which of course means a row 4 start. So drivers then, Bart Horsten really throwing the car from side to side there, the number 50 car of Bart Horsten. And let me remind you something that Hans-Bernd Camps said right at the start of our program, and that is that every driver gets a different car for every weekend. Basically, the drivers draw lots, and that decides which car that they will be in. All the data is shared across all the drivers. There are no secrets here. Everyone has completely equal opportunity. Aaron Venish then in the all-yellow BMW M2 Cup car is the last one to go into the grid box. We get the green flag from the marshal at the back of the pack, and stand by. Hold on to your hats and any other loose clothing that you may have about you, because it is the responsibility of this man to send the lights to green, and we go racing. So a very good start from Maxime Oosten then. Also a very good start from Bart Horsten, and Robert Heffler losing out, and I think an awesome start too from Fabian Crime, who, if I'm not mistaken, is up to P4 already. So as the cars again through La Source with absolutely no problems whatsoever. Brilliant driving from all of the drivers. And now Eau Rouge for the first time of asking. Sure enough, Fabian Crime has moved up to that P4 place. It's Oosten from Bart Horsten, who got a blistering start. Then it is Heffler. So is Horsten really going to keep the pressure on? Horsten, and is Horsten in turn going to keep the pressure on? But now here comes Fabian Crime trying to get that P3 place already, and sure enough, he's done it. Brilliant overtake from Fabian Crime, moves up to P3. Maxime Oosten needs to try and escape up the road here, because quite clearly Fabian Crime means business. So led for the Drivers' Championship for the better part of the season. And yesterday, with Maxime Oosten taking his 4th win in a row, he saw that Drivers' Championship lead go away. And he desperately wants to be back in P1 of the Drivers' Championship. And now he finds himself P3 in the race. The order, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, is Oosten from Bart Horston, I should say, Fabian Crime, and then Robert Heffler. Mikhail Braudegam, the guest driver, journalist, he's running fine in P5. Then it's Mikhail Makesh, P6, and Jacqueline Kreutzpoint at P7. Diego Stifter, P8. Mark David Muller is P9, and Tom Nittel is P10. So that is the latest update. And Jacqueline Kreutzpoint are just losing out there to Diego Stifter, who in turn also loses out. So lots of action going on already at the very... Oh, who's that getting out wide there? I think that was the number 99 car. Featured so much yesterday. Lawrence Stegman just getting out, but managing to hold on to the car. And our team really good at bringing us the replays. And there you can see where, through no fault of Jacqueline Kreutzpoint, as she was really hung out to dry there and had nowhere else to go. And that as a consequence of there you could see Lawrence Stegman once again. And that is why Lawrence Stegman was slightly out of shape, having run out onto the gravel. So Fabian Crime now is already on the back of Horston, and therefore Maxime Osten as well. So we put the first lap in the record books then of race number 2 here at Spa-Francorchamps. And across the top 4, they are the ones that have broken away a little bit from the rest of the pack. So into La Source again. Maxime Osten being chased all the way by the car of Bart Horston. And Bart is almost welded to the back here of Maxime Osten. Eau Rouge is where we're at right now. And stand by if he gets a really good exit out of here, Horston I'm talking about. This could move for him to make a move going into the chicane. Let's see. So Maxime Osten from Bart Horston. Then it is Fabian Crime, who's just going to let these two fight. And, of course, the more these two fight, it plays nicely into the hands of Fabian Crime, who's going to be able to potentially just pick up the pieces. Bart takes a look at the inside of Maxime Osten. However, discretion played the better part of valor there. And he decided that any opportunity to overtake between these identical cars was going to be just too risky. So Maxime Osten certainly not having it all his own way at the moment. And a real battle going on with the top 3 drivers at the moment. Great to stay with that. And Robert Heffler's not out of this. Mikhail Makesh is up to P5, having got past the guest driver, Mikhail Braudegam. So Maxime Osten then would desperately love to make it 5 wins in a row. He's achieved 4, which is a remarkable achievement. And there you can see the number 22 car of Mark David Muller making his intentions known to Mikhail Braudegam to say, come on, get out of the way. But Braudegam has got track position, and why should he do that? So it was a very clean and tidy start once again, and as the lights were released, you can see Maxime Osten getting a good start. Fabian Crime really on it as well. And as Bart moved to the outside and to the middle of the track, that's what was able to make sure that he was in a gun position to push that car into P2. So good start, and as they ran down and then up again, the topographical nature of this wonderful Spa-Francorchamps circuit playing into our hands in terms of giving us wonderful television pictures. And that super slow-mo is awesome, isn't it? And at that point, you could see that Fabian Crime had not quite got past Heffler. But then when he did, these 3... Oh, a big sideways moment there in replay from Bart Horston then. And running out onto the gravel. And now you can see this is really lightening up now. Fabian Crime is played into his hands. So Bart Horston on the inside. Fabian Crime with a lot of momentum on the outside. This is a battle for P2. Maxime Osten then still leading this race. So Horston's got the inside line going through La Source. He needs momentum now. And Robert Heffler is trying to come back at Fabian Crime as well. So it's as they were then. And I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. I thought someone would be able to make a move then. But Horston did make a mistake. We saw it in replay. And he was out on the gravel, but it was a big save from him. And he didn't lose a position, which is all credit to his driving skill and standards. And Maxime Osten, despite his best efforts, he's not been able to break away from the attention of Bart Horston right behind him, and also Fabian Crime. Fabian Crime taking a look at the inside now. Bart Horston trying to go around the outside of Maxime Osten here. It would give him the inside, but he won't have quite enough speed. He has to slot in to make himself not vulnerable to Fabian Crime. Crime will now try and duck underneath the Barhorston car, and Robert Heffler is trying to take advantage as well. And the thing is here with these drivers, they're trying to attack but also trying to defend at the same time, which is a big ask and a tall order. And talking of tall orders, there's none taller in the BMW M2 Cup than Maxime Oosten, who now, for the first time, he's able, as the rest of the cars behind him are fighting, he's able just to stretch his sizable legs a little bit. So the gap is up to 6/10 now between Maxime Oosten and Barhorston. Here comes Fabian Crime again. Where will he line up the number 50 car to try and make a pass here? Fabian Crime clearly meaning business, flashing his lights, trying to break the concentration just for a moment from Barhorston, but Bart is wise to that, and he holds on to it nicely, but he is under pressure. I suggest that Fabian Crime is probably a little bit quicker, but it's all very well being quicker. You've got to find a way by the car in front, and thus far he's been unable to do that. And as I said, Maxime Oosten has just taken advantage of that and has built a margin now of some 7.5 tenths, which is the biggest it's been since the start of the race. We've got 19.5 minutes plus a lap to run, so still plenty of time for plenty of action to come. Whoa, that was a big moment for Robert Heffler. You could see the back end of the car just letting go a little bit as he got onto the damper parts of the track. And here comes Mark David Muller then on the inside of Mikael Braudegum. But I said to Mikael this morning, I was so impressed with his driving yesterday, and I remain as impressed today. Doing really well, running in P6 with Mark David Muller, trying to keep the pressure on. So into La Source once again, turn number 1. Maxime Oosten then, Barhorston gets a little bit closer. And just keep your eye on the all-yellow car at the back of that top 5 at the moment. Mikael Makesh, he's in with a chance here. So Mikael Braudegum, the guest driver then, under pressure from Mark David Muller as we watch the leader come through and make that climb. And it's not until you stand at the bottom of that and you realise just what a steep climb that is. What can Mark David Muller do now to arrest the very well-driven number 86 car of Mikael Braudegum? Well, he's going to the outside. Mikael puts the car in the middle of the circuit, which is his entitlement to do. Of course, he's got track position, but here comes Mark David Muller, who has done it. That was a textbook overtake. Well done, Mark David Muller. He finds himself now in that P6 place. One of the cars running wide. There's that Diego... No, I think it was maybe Lawrence Stegman running wide once again. So the number 18 car that we watched there is another one of our guest drivers. Very good to see. Milan Takens here in the BMW M2 Cup this weekend. Maxime Oosten's lead has been reduced to just 4 tenths now. What a ding-dong battle going on here with Tom Natel right in the middle, and mix of this as he gets out onto the gravel just a little bit, and that costs him dearly in terms of momentum. And the thing is that Tom Natel has got Jarno Dow right up his trumpet also. So plenty of action going on, whichever way you look in this BMW M2 Cup race. And this fight that continues, and Milan then has the number 18 car, puts himself ahead of Tom Natel. And Jarno Dow is in that battle as well in the number 14 car. Talking to Jarno's father just very briefly this morning. Number 14, there he is, Jarno Dow then, currently running in P12. Big moment there for the number 47 car of Mikael Makesh, who was almost right on the back of this little battle, but now that he finds he isn't. However, the top 3, the fight intensifies still further. Is that possible? Oh, running very wide there, Barhorston, but he gets additional momentum. That actually brings him even closer to Maxime Oosten now. So through the bus stop chicane they go. Fabian Crime almost makes contact. I think it was just a little bit of a love tap there between Barhorston and Fabian Crime. No damage done as they head towards La Source again, turn 1. Maxime Oosten, the leader of this race, rotates the car perfectly through the turn with Barhorston virtually welded to it. And meantime, guest driver leads Tom Natel and Jarno Dow for P10, P11 and P12. Those 3 absolutely welded together also. Absolutely phenomenal stuff that we're seeing from the M2 Cup then. And very, very pleasingly, as Hans-Bernd Kamp said at the beginning of our program, BMW reconfirming their commitment to this M2 Cup. That was such a big save from Robert Heffler. Just the back end of the car getting out as Bart Horsten once again really worries Maxime Oosten ahead. Now, Maxime yesterday, his race strategy seemed to be, let everyone else really, really attack me during the first half of the race and really scrub their tyres. And then in the second half, I'll try and get up the road with tyre longevity. Is that the plan today? Because that's certainly what happened yesterday with Lawrence Stegman. In perhaps not the second half, but the final third of the race, he was able to break something of a gap between his pursuer that was Lawrence Stegman yesterday. Today, of course, it is Bart Horsten and Fabian Kraim. Those are the top three. And actually, they really could not be closer in this P1, P2 and P3 as Fabian Kraim runs really, really wide. Now, our race director is taking a look at track limits, and Fabian Kraim running quite wide there. Can ill afford to do that too many times. Track conditions are difficult, but of course, if you get any benefit of being able to carry a little bit more speed through shortening the track limits somewhat, that will be looked at by the race director, and penalties could be applied. We've not seen any yet, but it's not to say they wouldn't. 14 minutes of the race remaining, plus a lap to come from the BMW M2 Cup. We're live from Spa-Francorchamps this morning. And Maxime Oosten is leading by almost the width of a human hair over Bart Horsten, who is really, really trying hard. Now, Bart Horsten gets right alongside Maxime Oosten. Maxime, though, shuts the door, as is his right to do, to hold on to that P1 place. I have to say, really, really impressive driving from both of them, but particularly Bart Horsten, who is trying very hard here, and Maxime Oosten, you can see, placing the car perfectly to go into turn number one to deny Bart any opportunity at going through at turn number one. And I'll tell you what, Fabian Kraim is coming under some pressure now from Robert Heffler for P3. In replay, here you can see Bart having a go, and he did get his nose in front, but Maxime Oosten had got the optimum line going into the bus stop as Bart had to rotate the car. He has to use more steering angle, and that meant that the momentum that Maxime Oosten had, he was able to nullify any overtake opportunity. But look at Bart now. Put himself right alongside Maxime Oosten once again, king of the late breakers. And we just cut away from that as they go side by side here now. Surely Bart has done enough. He's got the inside line now. Bart Horsten, surely this is going to be P1. Maxime Oosten trying very, very hard. And Fabian Kraim is right in there. And there is contact between the two of them. Purely a racing incident that has caused damage to Bart Horsten's car. You can see the tyre come off Bart Horsten's car. Maxime Oosten now tries to recover. That was really, really unfortunate. Nothing other than a complete racing incident. The cars were side by side, and now, just what Maxime Oosten did not want, it's Fabian Kraim that is leading the race from Robert Heffler and Michael Makesh. Let's take a look once again. So, here, the inside line with Bart. And just as Bart tries to turn in, I think he gets a little bit of understeer, is not able to make the angle work, connects with Maxime Oosten. That sends Maxime into a spin. And unfortunately, that will be the end of Bart's race, I would suggest, because it looks like he's lost the tyre completely. And, of course, Maxime Oosten now is much further down the order than he would like to be, running in P11. So Fabian Kraim is our new race leader, and now Robert Heffler is thinking, do you know what, I've got a shot at the win here. And Robert Heffler's best result thus far has been a P2 in the BMW M2 Cup this year, which he took in the second race in our opening round at the Lausitzring. He would so like to be P1. And Fabian Kraim, who of course won both the races at the Lausitzring, wants to bank the win here at Spa-Francorchamps. So it's all changed then in the BMW M2 Cup. Wow, what racing. 10.5 minutes plus a lap to come, and this is far from over yet, because Fabian Crime is really going to have to stick his elbows out here, because Robert Heffler now has got more motivation than ever before, because he can see the top step of the podium is a possibility here. The only thing that's stopping him is the number 43 car of Fabian Crime. Maxime Osten, in the meantime, has dropped behind Jarno Dow, so he's in P11 at the moment, which means that his points haul would be just P5, 5 points. Now, he has a 3-point lead, so you can see that it is playing nicely into the hands of Fabian Crime, as we can see Diego Stifter take a really rather unorthodox line through that chicane, just ahead of Michael Brautigam. And there ahead of them is Milan Takens, another one of our guest drivers, so our two guest drivers together there in the number 86 car, and the number 25 car, I remind you, is driven by Diego Stifter. So there you can just see at the back of the picture, unfortunately, the now retired car of Bart Horsten, who is out of the race. Such a shame. It was just merely a racing incident and track conditions incident that caused the demise of Bart Horsten, and also, of course, the subsequent relegation of Maxime Osten. There in replay, as I said, that really rather unorthodox line being taken there by Diego Stifter, who thankfully did not connect with the car of Milan Takens. So it's Crime from Heffler, from Makesh, then the top three. We've got 8.5 minutes plus a lap to come. Now, the incident involving Maxime Osten and Bart Horsten is going to be investigated after the race. Now, our race director is certainly very, very firm, but also very fair as well. And he will take a look at the incident and make a judgment as necessary. However, in terms of a points haul, the damage is done to Maxime Osten. Now, we get a different battle going on for P1. And that battle is just as intensive. As they cross the timing line, there is just 2 and a bit tenths between Fabian Crime leading the race and Robert Heffler, P2. In the all-yellow car, it's Michael Makesh who's trying to get into the battle, as well as Diego Stifter puts himself ahead of Tom Nittel and makes it into P7 now, as through La Source, the rest of the pack come in this BMW M2 Cup race, 2 of 2 this weekend here at Spa-Francorchamps, as we make history in the BMW M2 Cup, the first showing here at Spa. And the drivers really loving this 7-kilometer circuit, finding it full of challenge and full of chance as well for them. And there's no one anticipating a chance more than Robert Heffler. And Fabian Crime, you can see the back end of the car getting a little bit loose under braking then, as Fabian Crime. And Heffler again now is another driver that's in this unenvious position, really, of trying to attack, but also having to defend from Michael Makesh, who is P3. Now, Makesh, his best finish was a P4 in the second race of the opening round at Lausitzring. So he is overdue a podium, to be honest, and at the moment it is a podium place, P3. Of course, he would like to do even better than that if he could, and we've got 6.5 minutes plus a lap for him to try and prove that point. Fabian Crime leading from Robert Heffler. Michael Makesh, then it's Mark David Muller, Lawrence Stegman, Milan Takens, Diego Stifter, Tom Nittel, Jarno Dow, and Maxime Osten now is up to P10. So Maxime Osten returning, of course, from the spin as a consequence of the contact with Bart Horsten. And car number 22, which is driven by Mark David Muller, is being told to respect track limits, which Mark David Muller has been pushing the envelope a little bit with regards to track limits. There you can see the number 54 car of Maxime Osten then trying to come back. He's got Jarno Dow ahead of him. He's on the inside of Jarno Dow now, and he goes through. And that was merely brought about by the pressure from Maxime Osten. You can see him flashing his lights furiously. Any car that has the misfortune of being in front of him, the bit will really be between the teeth of Maxime Osten now as he tries to make up lost ground and as many points and places as he possibly can. As Robert Heffler really is trying very hard. And now there's pressure on P3 from Mark David Muller as well, as he takes almost to the pit lane. And they go side by side. Whoa, goodness me. Mark David Muller only just making it back out onto the tarmac before it came grass. Now, Mark David Muller will go through here, but I wonder whether our race director will take a look at that and feel that maybe Mark David Muller got a bit of an advantage there by almost running alongside the pit lane and almost getting onto the grass. So Mark David Muller on track is P3 now, ahead of Michael Makesh, but my goodness me, he certainly made the track as wide as possible to make that happen. And I have to say, credit to Michael Makesh, who gave him racing room where he would have been entitled almost to really shut the door. That would have caused a collision. He didn't do that, and fair play to him for that. Here comes Heffler then, trying on the outside now of Fabian Crime. Racing room is left, and despite his best efforts, he's not able to make it work. So it's as we were then in terms of P1 and P2. It's not as we were with regards to P3, because it is Mark David Muller ahead of Michael Makesh now. So you can hear the tyres absolutely screaming in protest at just everything that the drivers are putting through these cars at the moment. Now, this was Robert Heffler having a go into the bus stop chicane. And you can see the really heavy-duty steering angle he has to take. And this was Mark David Muller on Michael Makesh. And fairness, Michael giving racing room to Mark David Muller, who has been told again to respect the track limits. Nothing on my timing screen to say that at the moment they're considering that to be a move that is questionable. So it's crime from Heffler, from Muller is the way it looks at the moment. The only one retirement is Bart Horston. That brought about by the contact, of course, with Maxime Osten, who we see now chasing down the number 25 car of Diego Stifter. So Maxime Osten then is trying to put himself back into P7, and very nearly on the inside there. Maxime Osten made it happen. We've got 3 minutes plus a lap to run. But this is the BMW M2 CUP from Spa-Francorchamps. And there we just saw the number 86 car of Mikko Bradigan, one of our guest drivers running in P11. Our other guest driver, Milan Takens, running in P6 at the moment. Now, I'm being told from race control that the incident between Mark David Muller and Michael Makesh is under investigation. Beg your pardon. It's the incident between car number 22 and 25. I think that might be a mistake in terms of the graphics that I was seeing on my timing screen, because it was nowhere near Diego Stifter, unless that's an earlier incident which I did not see. So we'll keep you abreast of the situation, of course we will. As it's as we were then, and Robert Heffler still has not been able to find a way past Fabian Crime. And Fabian just opening up certainly the biggest gap that he's had for a few laps, which is just under 4 tenths between P1 and P2. Mark David Muller then is getting away also from Michael Makesh, but Makesh now comes back at him. He's got better momentum along this straight here. He's going for the inside line here, and he's going to wrestle away that P3 place once again, or is he? So now he needs to, as I'm being told, that he had to give the place back. So Mark David Muller did have to give the place back, thanks to my director, AJ, for keeping me abreast of the information there. So that means Mark David Muller has got to do the overtake all over again, but he's got to do it in a fair way, which the race direction felt that he hadn't overtaken in a fair way last time around, and therefore that puts Michael, and I thought the overtake came a bit easy, so that puts Michael back in that P3 place. And Mark David Muller, now he'll probably be pretty angry about that. And the impetus is on for him to make the overtake again, but to do it in a way that will not attract the attention of race control. So, this is the way it looks. And there is Maxime Osten then, still not able to find a way past Diego Stifter. So for the moment, Maxime Osten is in P8. Of course, every point that Maxime Osten can gain is going to be so advantageous to him. A P8 at the moment would bank him 8 points. However, Fabian Crime, in the position that Fabian is in, of course, he takes 20 points. So it's all to play for, because the Drivers' Championship is really tight at the top. Fabian Crime from Robert Heffler, from Michael Makesh then, as Mark-David Muller then tries to pursue the all-yellow car of the number 47, Michael Makesh here. Into the chicane they come. So on this occasion, nothing at all that Mark-David Muller could do to try and find a way by. So Fabian Crime leading from the car of Robert Heffler. Michael Makesh is P3. Mark-David Muller, Lawrence Stegman, Milan Takens, then it's Diego Stifter, Maxime Osten, Tom Nittel and Jarno Dow. And we are on the last lap of this race. The car's just crossing the line as the time duration had gone to 0, which means, as Maxime Osten very nearly getting the better of Diego Stifter then. But just watch at the end of this, Diego Stifter, very good slow-mo there. Diego Stifter is just able to say, nah, you're not coming through. Shuts the door. Here comes Mark-David Muller then. This is the fight for P3, and Lawrence Stegman is in with a chance here as well. There's a little contact between the two of them, and there's more contact now. The big beneficiary here could be Lawrence Stegman, potentially. It's as we were, but the more they fight, the more momentum and speed that they lose, and this has brought Lawrence Stegman right into this fight for the final podium place here. You can see Mark-David Muller is having to try and stick his elbows out here. But of course, he's trying to attack Michael Makesh ahead of him. Now, here they are absolutely side by side. There was that little touch, and that was enough. And here came another touch. Good control from Michael Makesh. Now, you know, he had to take to the runoff area because, quite truthfully, he was kind of forced into that by that touch. And the big beneficiary was very nearly Lawrence Stegman. So this fight for P3 is going to go all the way to the checkered flag, I really rather think. And, of course, tyre degradation is beginning to play a part because we are on the last lap. I mean, these drivers and cars, they've been pushed for countless laps around this 7-kilometre circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, and grip is at a premium now. And this may played into the hands of Michael, who has broken away from Mark-David Muller by around about 6/10. And the reason for that is Lawrence Stegman is really hounding Mark-David Muller now, which would be for P4. At the moment, Lawrence Stegman is running P5. Maxime Osten has still not found a way past Diego Stifter, but he's going to go for it now. And here comes the threat that I said was going to come then from Lawrence Stegman, or the attack from Lawrence Stegman. For the last time of asking, they make their way through the bus stop chicane. The checkered flag awaits. Fabian Crime, he takes the win from Robert Heffler. P3 is going to go the way of Michael Makesh, but it is a drag race for P4, which does go the way of Lawrence Stegman ahead of Mark-David Muller. Then it is Milan Takens then who takes P6. Diego Stifter stays ahead of Maxime Osten. Wow, what a BMW M2 CUP race. Absolutely stunning stuff. Really enjoyable to watch. My goodness me. Need a Strepsil after that lot, you know. So, by my calculations, that will put Fabian back in the lead of the Drivers' Championship by 8 or 9 points. Not absolutely, I need to do the calculations. I haven't had time to do that. Thanks to Didi, who has given me his view in terms of the points, and he's probably absolutely right. So, there the cars are lined up in Parfumé then. And, wow, what a race. Here is confirmation of the result. Fabian Crime taking the win from Robert Heffler and Michael Makesh, P3. Lawrence Stegman, P4, just besting Mark-David Muller at the line, who takes P5. Milan Takens, Diego Stifter, Maxime Oosten trying to make as good as he could, and he finishes P8 ahead of Jarno Douw, who's P9. Tom Nittel, he banks P10. Another creditable performance from Mikael Brautigam, who finishes P11. It's Jacqueline Kreutzbeutner is P12, Sean Fuster P13, Aaron Venish P14. Alessia Kreutzbeutner is P15, and Bart Horsten then not able to complete the race following the contact with Maxime Oosten. Well, no one can tell you that the BMW M2 Cup, littered with young, talented drivers, is anything other than phenomenally entertaining. Brilliant stuff. Here's Super Slow-Mo's the top three then. Mikhail Makesh will be on step 3 of the podium. Taking P2, Robert Heffler. But taking the win and putting himself back into the lead of the Drivers' Championship, Fabian Greim. And the Drivers' Championship standings then. As you can see, Fabian Greim now on 136 points, Maxime Oosten on 127, with Robert Heffler now P3, Lawrence Stegman is P4, Mark David Muller P5. Then it's Bart Horsten, Mikhail Makesh, Tom Nittel, Jarno Douw and Diego Stifter. They are the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship points. So everything looks very, very exciting for when we head to the very, very scenic Red Bull Ring circuit, which is where we will be racing next in the BMW M2 Cup in around about a couple of weeks' time. A very different circuit to Spa-Francorchamps, of course, which will face these drivers. So that's going to be very, very entertaining. And the phenomenal battle that's going on between Fabian Greim and Maxime Oosten for the top of the Drivers' Championship standings. And, of course, the championship at the end of the year will intensify. That's for sure. Lovely shot of Spa-Francorchamps then. And this circuit, which has delivered great race action in the BMW M2 Cup. And as I say, we expect much more of that when we head to the Red Bull Ring in Austria in a couple of weeks' time. Just 2 effective rounds left at the Red Bull Ring in 2 weeks' time, and then, of course, the big glittering finale at Hockenheim. So live images from the pit lane then. You can see Mikhail Makesh to the right-hand side of your picture there. One of our cameramen, Victor, to the left of the picture there, trying to get some images as the drivers head off with regards to the podium, of course. And congratulations being afforded and offered by a huge team that are involved in the BMW M2 Cup, who works so very hard and deliver brilliant. There is Fabian Greim being congratulated, Mikhail Makesh there. There's Jörg Michaelis, who is principal, if you will, of the BMW M2 Cup. And lots of applause for all the drivers. Nice to see these images. And to the right of your picture is Christine Curling there, who does such a very good job in terms of looking after us broadcasters with the BMW M2 Cup. One of those broadcasters being the hugely talented Verena, who we cross to now.
And here's a hugely talented Fabian Greim. Congratulations to your victory. I mean, obviously you were the big benefiter also from the battle ahead of you. So I guess you're excited and happy about that.
Yes, for sure. It was a quite tough battle in the beginning. After the crash, I was in the lead, and from that point, I just to manage the race. And at the end, it's a big victory, very important points, and the feeling is awesome.
But all in all, I mean, BMW M2 Cup, we saw so much action up there, and also in the front, as you already mentioned. I mean, I guess that's what it's all about, right? You guys are just pushing it to the limit.
Yes, of course. The car feels amazing on track. Many talented guys, very fast guys, and it was a nice battle, and hopefully we have the battle till the end of the season.
Absolutely. We're looking forward forward to that, but also you're the leader of the championship again, so it's getting more and more exciting now.
Yeah, feels good. Now we are looking forward to Red Bull Ring. It's also awesome track, and yeah, we are looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Fabian. Let me just grab that, and then we're going to grab the next one because we've got P3 here. Congratulations. Don't be so shy because obviously we want to interview you as well, Mikhail Mikesh. Congratulations. I mean, you were fighting really hard, and I guess you're happy about a third place.
Yeah, it was amazing. The whole race, it was very hectic for me. I had quite a good start, and yeah, I think I moved up to P6 or 7. And yeah, and just was keeping with the pace. Yesterday I didn't have the speed, but yeah, I improved for today, so really happy with the result.
And also in between you were back to P4 because there was a tight battle with you and Müller, so I guess you're happy that you fought back really hard.
Yeah, then towards the end we are really next to each other, touching each other, and yeah, we bumped on the straight, and that made me just lose traction and outbrake myself. But yeah, in the end it was an amazing tight battle, and yeah, I'm really satisfied at finally podium.
Yeah, finally podium. All right, thank you so much. Enjoy the moment. And we've got one more person, that's Robert Heffler. So another person here who's got to have a big grin on his face with the second place. How excited are you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. So after an average start, I fell back to P4, but I saw that the guys were fighting really hard at the top. So I thought that, okay, maybe I have to be a little bit back and wait for what they are gonna do. And yeah, it was a good decision because accidentally Max and Bart collided at the middle sector. So I was in P2 after that. And yeah, I tried to make a big gap between me to P3 and to go forward with Fabian and maybe decide the result at the end. But yeah, in the last few laps he was a little bit faster than me, and yeah, I didn't have a chance to overtake him. But it was a really good race.
Absolutely, and all in all we saw so much action. So thank you so much, and now he's a commentator.
Brilliant drive, to be fair, and yes, so much action. You can see the drivers in conversation with Hans Bernkamp to the right-hand side of your picture there. And just awaiting the podium, which is about to come. And our 1, 2, 3 then, drivers who will be heading up to the podium, and the Cup presenters are lined up as well. Here comes Mikhail Mikesh then. He takes P3 at last.
Driver from Hungary, Robert Heffler.
Robert Heffler, really good drive, Robert. Congratulations to you, P2.
And the winner from Germany, Fabian Kreim.
Well done, Fabian. Back on the top step of the podium.
And in the honor
and
of the winner,
back
we hear the German
at the top of the
national
Drivers'
anthem.
Championship. Here's the national anthem. So, national anthem plays out, and it's trophy presentation time. Generally speaking, we always do that in reverse order in the BMW M2 Cup, quite rightly. So, it should be Alexander Pilz then who will make the trophy presentation. Indeed it is, to Mikhail Mikesh. She's one of the technic team for the BMW M2 Cup. Making the P2 trophy presentation is Tammy Schoenborn. And Robert then receives his trophy. And then on the top step, it falls upon Kira Ballast to make the trophy presentation to Fabian Kreim. So well done to all three of our drivers. Well done to all of the drivers in the BMW M2 Cup, whether you're on the podium or not. Fabian Crime taking P1, Robert Heffler P2, Mikhail Makesh P3. But, of course, all the drivers playing their part in giving us a really engaging race to watch. So our trophy presenters join in with the photographs as well. And then you watch them leg it like never before when the champagne is uncorked. And who is going to win the battle for that?
Celebrate!
Fabian Crime. He was the quickest to do it. So, many congratulations once again to all the drivers then. A phenomenal BMW M2 Cup race, and we anticipate and expect 2 stunning races to come from the Red Bull Ring, which is next on the agenda of the BMW M2 Cup. From me and all the team, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.